How's it going, ladies and bruises? I'm Bobby Sixkilla. Welcome back to Quantum Suicide. Now, this is an episode I'm going to have to re-record because once again it's gone. The video that I originally recorded for this bit has corrupted. This game absolutely hates being recorded, which is very fucking irritating. But we are going to continue from Knock Knock with Nicholas. We're going to let Nicholas in. We're going to see the two endings on this path, and then we're going to wrap this one up. Let's get into it. Huh? I opened my eyes to witness Nicholas at my bedside with a plate in his hand. Nicholas?
Good morning, sleepyhead.
Huh? Oh yeah, morning.
I brought you that piece of cheesecake I mentioned.
My brain suddenly went into overdrive at the mention of cheesecake. How long was I out for?
Only about 4.5 hours. I woke you up now as you just recently came out of REM sleep.
REM?
A part of your sleep cycle. It is usually marked by an increase in breathing and heart rate and is the best time to rouse someone.
Thank you?
You are most welcome. Now, have some cake.
Nicholas handed me the laden plate. Thank you, Nicholas, for everything.
It was nothing, really. I am the doctor on this ship, and everyone's well-being is my responsibility.
I know, but still, thank you. I can see Nicholas blushing slightly as I turn my focus to the meal before me. Nicholas looked satisfied as I polished off the cheesecake, and took my plate from me before I could lick it clean.
I hope you have a productive day. Let me know if you need anything else.
I will, thank you, Nicholas. Nicholas stacked my empty glass and plate, and headed off. I felt more refreshed than I had in any recent day. I decided to head to the lab and attempt to make any headway with the pocket watch. I have a good feeling about it. At the lab, I spread my work across the many tables that had been pulled together. Alright, Brain, we got this. I know we do. I held the pocket watch in my hand, still as lifeless as it had ever been. I pressed the buttons again, hoping for something. Anything new. Watch. Bzzzt. My newfound good mood slipped away from me, quickly. People were literally dying on my watch. The solution was right there in my hands, yet I was somehow too stupid to put the pieces together. Perhaps I needed to take a different approach, a less scientific approach. I raised the watch to my mouth. Hi, watch, it's me. If you could just, work, I'd really appreciate it, and would be sure to give you the best treatment from now on. I stroked the watch, comforting it, and then tried to press the buttons again. Watch, bzzzt. You've made yourself a powerful enemy this day, Watch.
If I knew science involved nothing but gentle verbal persuasion, I would be a famous physicist already.
Nicholas, what are you doing here?
I came to see if you would join me for the evening.
Oh, why?
I guess I find your company somewhat enjoyable.
Everyone does. I rolled my eyes at Nicholas, who appeared to be enjoying himself.
But does everyone offer you the same opportunities I do?
And what exactly are these opportunities you speak of?
Unlimited healthcare for starters. I also offer round-the-clock house calls.
For when I'm sick.
I will be at your beck and call, regardless of health.
I could feel my cheeks blush conspicuously. There was no point even trying to hide it. Opportunities aside, what would this evening look like were it to happen?
I was hoping to lure you in with the prospect of dinner, followed by a private serenade if, and only if, you were on your best behavior.
And if I'm not?
I think I might even prefer this option.
Go on then. You had me at beck and call.
I am glad.
So when's dinner?
It is ready whenever you are.
Alright, give me 10 minutes to pack up here and I'll meet you at the dining hall.
Perfection.
Nicholas left swiftly to complete his preparations, while I turned my attention to packing up my parents' work. It took me only a fraction of the time to put it away, then I had to take it out. Finally, only the pocket watch was left sitting there. I'll give you one more chance. I slipped the watch into my pocket and enthusiastically walked to the dining hall. Upon arrival, I found the table practically creaking under the sheer weight of food.
I hope you enjoy pasta.
I do. It looks like you might as well. Nicholas pulled out a chair for me before making his way to the opposite side of the table and taking a seat.
I certainly do. My mother taught me how to make it. This is all handmade.
Oh, really?
Yes. She taught me that the best way to a man's heart is through his stomach was in fact wrong. It should have been a woman's heart.
Because we like to eat.
Good heavens, no. A man who can cook for a woman is much more desirable than a man who cannot, so she made sure to teach me how to cook.
I like your mother's thinking.
I thought you would. My mother was also a strong woman.
Yeah, I heard from Beatrix. Nicholas smiled warmly as he lifted his glass to make a toast.
May we overcome life's problems one die at a time.
I laughed uncontrollably. He was doing his best to ruin the romantic tension. One die at a time. Clinked our glasses together and tucked into dinner. I twirled some pasta under my fork in the traditional style. What else did your mother teach you how to cook?
This is the full extent of my portfolio.
She didn't teach you anything else?
She told me that not everyone is supposed to be able to do everything, and that I should leave the majority of the cooking to Katashi and the Ikari family.
His mother's advice was starting to make sense. The mouthful was certainly an experience.
How is it? It is so good that you are lost for words, just like my mother always was.
Nicholas beamed proudly as I forced my grimace into the semblance of a smile. I don't think I've ever had anything as terrible in my mouth as I did right then, and I'd lived on dehydrated meals for most of my life. I had to distract myself with some conversation quickly. I couldn't hold up the charade for long. So, do you like being a doctor?
That is a very interesting question. I believe I do.
What's the best part of being a doctor?
The best part is having the power to choose who lives and dies.
It's the most fucked up thing I've ever heard, my man. My mouth hung open like a stunned mullet for a moment. Nicholas's serious face transformed into a grin as he broke into laughter.
It is only a joke.
Sorry, he just delivered it so convincingly that I thought you were Dr. Evil. Nicholas was very pleased with himself. I was still reeling a little from the fact that he was so compelling.
The best part of being a doctor is understanding.
Understanding how your patients feel.
Not quite. I really enjoy the knowledge of how the body works, something that medical training has afforded me.
I understand. Being a scientist also helps me better understand our reality.
I am glad you understand my position.
Any major downsides to being a doctor?
Not particularly.
That's rather a mundane answer.
Well, I have come to blows before.
Like a punch-up.
In a manner of speaking, yes.
And it wasn't with Beatrix. Is that what you're saying? I scooched my chair closer to the table, intrigued. Now I'm listening.
I do not think it is particularly interesting, but it is the only real negative experience I have had.
I'll be the judge of that.
What I tell you never finds its way back to Beatrix, okay?
I promise.
Very well. Years ago, Katashi had a minor concern. He had run out of strawberries or something equally trivial. Anyway, he wanted to inform the captain, but I asked him to leave it for a day as it was the anniversary of the death of the captain's father.
I couldn't yet predict where this is going.
Even after knowing this, Katashi was adamant that he would inform the captain, claiming that he was to report food stock depletion immediately upon occurrence. I stepped in front of him and demanded that he wait till the next day.
Oh.
He told me to move, or he would move me by force.
You didn't move, did you?
Absolutely not. His inconsequential report would have caused more strain to the captain's mental health than was necessary.
So what happened?
He punched me.
And then?
I returned the favor.
Did you win?
We both wound up with black eyes and multiple abrasions. However, he did not report to the captain in the end, so I guess I won the moral victory.
Sounds like a victory to me. Wait,
Yes.
why can't I tell Beatrix about this?
Oh, that. Well, when Beatrix noticed my black eye, I may have told her that we were fighting over her behavior and not the captain.
Why lie?
Beatrix has very little time for the captain, so I did not see any reason to divulge the truth. Besides, she was thrilled at the idea of me getting punched for her.
I bet. Classic Beatrix. We continued to talk, sharing stories all evening, so long that I almost forgot about the promised serenade before it was too late.
Oh dear, look at the time. We had best turn in for the night.
I guess you're right.
Do not fret, the serenade is simply postponed for now.
I look forward to it.
I'd best practice beforehand. I would hate to disappoint.
You, disappoint? I highly doubt it. I stood up and moved toward the door.
Good night.
Good night, Nicholas. I smiled all the way back to my quarters. Nicholas was so much fun to spend time with, but he couldn't cook to save his life. Because I'd avoided eating during dinner, I was now pretty hungry, and Nicholas was still in the kitchen cleaning up, so that was out of the question. Guess I was going to bed hungry tonight. I began preparing for bed, stomach rumbling. I took the pocket watch out and placed it on the bedside table when I saw it. What's this? A note attached to a small package was sitting there. I read the note out loud. Jordan, thank you for putting up with Nicholas's cooking. Here's a muffin to tide you over until breakfast. Beatrix. She snuck me food. Beatrix, you're the best. I opened the well-wrapped package and devoured the small chocolate muffin sitting nestled inside it. It was delicious beyond words. Stomach now satisfied, I slipped into bed and drifted off to sleep.
I would like to welcome everyone to the ring this evening.
Huh?
In the left corner, sporting the German shorts, Nicholas Vogel. And in the right corner, in the fetching Japanese shorts, Katashi Ikari.
Ding ding. I opened my eyes and to my amazement I could see Nicholas and Katashi fighting. All the crew members were cheering them on, even Yoshiki. Then Nicholas landed a left hook and forced Katashi to his knees. Seeing Katashi and Yoshiki alive, even if Katashi was getting his butt kicked, filled me with joy. I woke up, the joy draining away like an emptying bath. I sat up feeling only disappointment at the sad reality when I realized my sheets were draped in a green glow. Huh? My eyes followed the glow to the source on the bedside table, the pocket watch. My disappointment evaporated as my heartbeat thrummed deafeningly in my ears. I was speechless, finally a sign that my work was paying off. I leapt out of bed, snatching up the precious watch, trying to drop it out of pure excitement. Press. I didn't even hesitate and pressed the button. As soon as the finger made contact, everything went black. I rolled on the floor, clutching my stomach as I felt waves of incredible nausea. I opened my eyes, observing that I was lying on the floor of my quarters. Sitting up against the side of my bed, I attempted to swallow down the nausea. I sat, breathing heavily for a few moments, when I was interrupted by two men running into my room, locking the door behind them. Both were panting, their backs to the door with similarly panicked expressions.
Is she still following us? Zubi, get a hold of yourself.
Zubi and Nathaniel.
Nathaniel, she killed Yoshiki. She killed her. Where next? Not if we get a grip. I need you to stay with me here.
What's going on? I wobbled to my feet as the two men spun to face me. The one named Zubi turned white as a ghost, while Nathaniel looked utterly bewildered. Jordan? Yes?
I don't want to alarm you, but we just watched you die.
How did I die? Never mind that, though. I'd done it. I changed dimensions.
So the pocket watch worked?
Wait, you know about it?
Sure I do. I worked with you in the lab. Well, our version of you at least. I'm quite familiar with the theory.
So you believe me?
100%.
So what's going on right now?
The captain,
What's wrong with the captain? Is she okay?
She's never looked healthier. Everyone else, on the other hand...
So the captain's got on a murder spree again. What do you mean?
She's killing everyone.
What?
We don't know why, but she just started killing people this morning. We're hiding from her right now.
Kimiko is killing people?
I saw her stab you to death in the lab with my own eyes.
Ouch. Wonder what I did to deserve that.
I don't think any of us did anything that would deserve that.
The PA came to life, the captain's voice filling the quarters.
I know you were on the ship.
How does she know I'm here?
Confused? You are still not even half the man mine was.
Man?
Come out of your quarters and allow me to kill you. I will spare the other two.
Hate to throw you under the bus, but that sounds like a pretty good deal from where I'm standing. We can't just throw her to the wolves. Would you rather fight the wolf yourself?
The two men stood considering their options as I attempted to defend myself. Hey, come on now, if there are three of us, we should be able to take on the captain.
I am still waiting.
You're right. We outnumber her 3-1. All right, let's face her together.
We unlocked the door and the three of us stepped out into the hallway. The captain couldn't be seen.
Nathaniel? Zubi? What is happening? Report at once!
We spun on our heels to face the captain. She seemed confused.
We won't let you kill her.
What?
Zubi and Nathaniel both lunged at the captain, and after a short scuffle, the two men managed to subdue the captain. They stood on either side of her, holding her arms tightly behind her back. She was visibly fuming.
What is the meaning of this?
You told me to come into the hallway so you could kill me.
What? I never asked for such a thing.
If you didn't, then... Jordan.
No!
I felt a deep searing pain down my neck. Suddenly my mouth was filling with fluid. I couldn't swallow it down. Was I drowning? As the warmth from inside my body spread to the outside, I felt someone's breath in my ear as they whispered.
Not even half the man he was.
Hold on. Hold on.
I saw the captain, Zubi, and Nathaniel all rush towards me as my body crumpled to the floor. Alrighty, we are dead. Now we'll jump back in and not do the jump and see where that leads us. Alright, leave the watch until after the game. Here we go. Chapter 4. What was I thinking? I had no idea what could happen if I pressed. I must be going crazy. Emotionally motivated decisions were very rarely the right decisions. I took a deep breath and tried to collect my thoughts. There must be a way for me to make a more informed decision. Well, I guess that information is important to being informed, but who has the most information? I shook my head trying to clear it. It worked about as well as shaking a kaleidoscope to get a clearer view. I needed a second opinion. Two heads are better than one after all. And any one head is better than this one right now, that's for sure. I still wasn't sure if I was being If the watch being on was a permanent state, so I better choose fast. I mean, she decided to go wake Nicholas. Surely he of all people would have the knowledge that could tilt the scales of deduction in the favour of logic and reason. I grabbed the pocket watch and headed out. Outside the Vogel's room, I took a deep breath to calm my nerves before pressing the intercom button. This may not go smoothly. Excuse me, good morning, sorry, but can I speak to Nicholas, please? I stood in the hallway for what felt like a century. Perhaps no one was coming. I felt almost relieved. As if in response, the door opened to reveal a very intimidating Beatrix, filling up the whole doorway. It was an understatement to say she did not look happy.
Let me make this very clear, sailor.
I gulped. The threat in her voice was palpable enough to coax the sweat out of me unprompted.
There are only 2 ways that you can get away with waking me this early and not fear for your life.
I silently said my prayers, so this is how it ended.
First, if you were already dead. And seeing as I'm watching the blood drain from your face right now, that seems unlikely. 2, if you wanted to share my bed. So, if you're here to show me a good time, have no fear and come on in. If not...
Oh my god, we're gonna have to go to bed with her just to survive. Beatrix let the sentence hang there like a venomous cloud. I didn't dare take a breath. Nicholas slid deftly past his sister, looking unimpressed with her.
Beatrix, I believe she came here for me.
She woke me in the process. So I need to be compensated somehow.
Beatrix glared at her brother and then fixed her penetrating gaze on me, knowing I was the easiest target. Is she threesome?
So, how are you going to pay for my troubles, sailor?
Beatrix, I will handle this. And if her reasons for waking us are not sufficient, I will deal with her myself.
At first I was relieved that Nicholas had saved me from his sister's wrath, but then I remembered what family I was dealing with here, and tempered my expectations somewhat.
Tisk.
Oh, I'm glad this is settled.
Nicholas watched her carefully as she unwillingly retreated back into the room.
Shall we take this elsewhere?
I nodded furiously, keen to get as far away from the room and its angry contents as possible.
The rec room should be free right now. I am quite fond of the armchairs.
A comfy armchair is just what I needed for my jelly legs right about now. Nicholas took a seat and then signalled with his hand that I should take a seat across from him.
Now, one thing I agree with Beatrix on is that I hope you have a very good reason for waking me.
I promise you I do.
Is it medical in nature?
Not quite. I guess that it does concern the health of everyone on board the ship ultimately, though.
Oh?
I saw that I'd piqued his interest. It's about my parents' watch, about their research into dimensional travel. I handed the watch over to Nicholas, who delicately turned it over, inspecting it with great interest.
So, am I right to assume that these green lights indicate that the device has been activated somehow?
I think so.
Very interesting.
Nicholas handed the watch back to me and folded his arms, all focused now on me.
So, why am I here?
I haven't pressed the button since it became active.
And why does this concern me, of all people?
I guess I just wanted to seek an opinion.
Very well. From my years of experience and medical expertise, I can confirm that what you have there is indeed a pocket watch.
Ha ha ha. Have you anything useful to say this time?
Might I suggest that it also has the ability to tell the time if you examine the relative positions of its hands?
This is clearly Nicholas's idea of making a joke. Would have been almost funny if not for the gravity of the situation. Seriously, I'm asking for help in dire times, so you're giving me smart-ass remarks? Nicholas looked at me, smiling warmly.
You have already made your decision.
What can you possibly mean?
You already chose not to press the button. Whatever your reasoning may have been, it's already been done. You need to trust yourself more.
But how?
But nothing. If a time comes when you should push the button, that decision should be yours and yours alone.
And what if I'm wrong?
Right and wrong are subjective. I will support whatever decision you make, simply because it is your decision.
Nicholas's unconditional support almost brought tears of gratitude to my eye. To think that a minute ago I was ready to strangle him for being so impenetrable.
Now, I hope you will support my decision to return to my quarters for some much-needed sleep.
I nodded my assent. Nicholas got up, inclined his head in response, and left. I should probably get some sleep too. The next round of the deletion games will require every advantage I can get. Back to the deletion games. Back in my room, I placed the pocket watch on the open bedside table drawer and retired to bed. Any worries that the new revelations with the pocket watch would prevent sleep were immediately proven unfounded. The new round of the deletion game, Vampire Children. If you can make your way to the individual quarters, I'll be notifying the vampire of their very existence. What? I jerked to an upright position to check the time. It was just after 7 AM. Moments later, Di appeared in front of me.
That's a great idea.
What is?
Catching up on your beauty sleep, of course.
There's more to me than just my appearance, Di.
That's what ugly people tell themselves to make them feel better. Good for you, ugly.
Having just woken up, I wasn't mentally fortified enough to handle this. If you've come to insult me, mission accomplished. You can leave now.
Aww.
Di looked at me with sorrowful puppy dog eyes.
Come on. I'm just playing around with you.
So you take that back that bit about me being ugly?
Well, I'm not going to go that far.
I made the ugliest face I could muster and held it until Di exploded with laughter.
Okay, fine. You're not ugly. You just have a beauty that very few people understand.
My mum says I'm pretty. Nah, you're just saying that.
In all seriousness, I only make fun of you because I like you so much.
Really?
Yup, and I'm here to prove it.
How?
By giving you the best role for the Vampire Children game, of course.
So I'm human?
No, I said that I like you.
Wait, so I'm the vampire?
Of course you are. My favorite little bloodsucker.
I struggle to see how this is a good thing. Di seemed legitimately confused by my statement.
Being the vampire is the best role by far.
How?
Well, not only do you get to kill people in the game,
Not a good start.
but you also get to murder someone in real life, too.
Why would anyone besides you want to do that?
Ugh. Would you rather be the one getting murdered? I can arrange that for you if you want.
I decided that silence was the best answer to that one.
That's what I thought. Get out there and make Mama Die proud.
Mama Di?
I made you, which makes me the elder vampire. Go forth and multiply, my child. Guess that means I'm going to be Grandma Di very soon. I'm so excited, but at the same time, I still look too young and beautiful to be a grandmother.
I sighed, only half listening to Di at this stage. I was too preoccupied thinking about how I could turn this to my advantage. Di was busy entertaining herself by pretending to be old. She hunched over and hobbled towards the door.
So long, dearie. Make sure to wear Granny's home-knitted cardigan. It's getting chilly out.
I'd hate to have a cold when you murder me. Moments later, Di's voice came over the ship's PA system.
Thank you all for your cooperation. You are now free to pass the time as you please. The game will commence in 2 hours. Good luck!
Great, now what? Okay, Brain, first things first. Should I partner with someone? And if so, who should it be? We're going to go solo, because we went partner all the way when we were the male character, and it backfired every time. The only person I can trust is me. I can't risk telling anyone that I'm the vampire. I felt terribly lonely saying it out loud, but it was the safest approach. It didn't make me feel any better about it, though. Before the game starts, I'd have a shower. I find it's a great way to clear one's mind. Suddenly, I appeared in my room. What? Why did we leave the room if I just appeared in our room? Making my way down the hallway was tough going with all the lights off. Hello? I? Di? Anyone? As I continued walking, I saw one room still had the lights on. It looked like the dining hall. I made a cautious approach. Oh dear.
I'm glad you finally arrived.
What the hell happened here? Di sat at the head of the table, with the entire crew draped over its length. Blood pooled on the surface and dripped in a rhythmic plink plink onto the floor. The still bodies of the captain and Nicholas flanked Di. Are they dead? I ran to Nicholas's side and checked for a pulse, my fingers slipping on the slick blood that coated him. Nothing.
Why did you do this?
I crawled over to Beatrix, frantically trying to check her vitals, but my hands now shook uncontrollably. I couldn't. Tears obliterated my vision as I approached the tiny form of Melody.
I don't like liars.
I'm not lying. Why would Di do this? What did she have to gain from this? You have your sick deletion game already, why kill everyone? Di cocked her head in confusion.
Me? Kill everyone?
Who else could have done this?
Well, firstly, I can't stabby people. Remember? No physical presence.
Her hands passed through Nicholas, making her point in a grisly fashion.
Second, my programming prevents me from harming the captain in any way.
If that was true, she was right. She couldn't have been the one responsible, no matter how bad it looked when I walked in. So if you didn't kill them, who did?
I have the exact same question. There's no one else alive on this ship. Interestingly enough, I was preparing for the upcoming game when I forced her way to the front, and during that time, this.
You think I did this?
Impossible and absurd. Even if we had the ability to touch people, she's too much of a goody two-shoes to kill people in cold blood, especially children.
Then who do you think did this?
I don't think anything. I know who did this.
You're gonna say me? Tell me.
You.
I can guarantee you it wasn't me.
If you're the only person on the ship left alive, it doesn't take a genius to work it out.
But
The mission is over.
no,
Let me
I...
thank you for your time and relieve you of your post.
No. Dining hall now in
I
lockdown.
enjoyed our time together, honestly. Killing so many of you was fun, but we're both surplus to requirements now.
You already were. What are you doing, Di?
Nothing.
What does that mean? Warning, AI system set to go offline in 1 minute. Warning, all AI systems required to maintain life
You
support.
killed us all. Congratulations are in order, I suppose. You truly are a greater monster than I could ever hope to be.
Di gave me a smile of camaraderie as she slowly dematerialized, leaving me alone but for the bodies of the crew. Di's voice rang out over the PA system one last time.
Goodbye.
Dude. And with that, we're going to wrap this episode up, and in the next one, start heading down the next timeline. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for getting out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.